What radio? The music you want.
With your host, Keys Dan.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
RadioWhat.com.
What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you could have me at your next event. It's wedding season. Yes, as I record this, I've been booking weddings left and right. And you know weddings are my specialty. I enjoy them. Yes, I like a good karaoke jam, a good video dance party. But, weddings. I get to be with people at their best times. Exciting for me. And exciting, to have me there playing for you and your guests. Today on the program, very excited. I'm talking to another podcaster today, Mike One of the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast. Now, they're about 8 episodes in, and these guys are sports fanatics, and they're funny as can be. And you get to hear a little bit about their podcast and Mike One in the next few minutes, so stick around for that. This week's shows... I have one public show this week. I'm at the Rab on Friday nights. That's my usual Friday night gig, the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. That is the over 21 video dance party karaoke jam, and I will be there from 8 until almost 2 in the a.m. They got the full bar, the kitchen is open, pool tables, they got 10 diamond style pool tables, and they have a pool tournament every Friday night. So if you want to make some money while you're waiting to sing on stage with me, well, next to me, I'm not going to make you sing with me. You're the star of the show. If you want to make some money playing in the pool tournament, I encourage you to check that out. Talk to Jimmy. And then on the party patio, they got foosball, shuffleboard, darts. Drunk people with darts. Still can't get that. Anyway, they got a giant Jenga game, a giant checkers game. There's always something to do while you're waiting to sing. And the dance floor is always open. And you got me, Keys Dan, hanging out on the ones and twos, the digital wheels of steel. Yeah, I'll even wiki for you. I'll mix it up and play what you want to hear. All right, let's see. I guess we can get into it with Mike One of the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast. Let's find out more about that. Calling Mike One now.
Hello.
Hello. Am I speaking to Mike One?
Mike One, you have on the line. Absolutely. How you doing, Keys Dan?
Oh, it's good. Mike One of the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast. It's Keys Dan with the What Makes You Famous podcast. Let's jump right into it. Who is a Mike One?
Oh, well, I'm a mid-aged guy that's just hanging out with my buddies on the podcast. Been married for 20 years, couple kids, and, midlife crisis. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you want to call it, but hey, me and my buddies decided to do this podcast, and so that's kind of what we're doing now.
Well, I encourage anyone who wants to have a genuine conversation, might as well record it for the people. There's over 700,000 podcasts out there. What separates the Two Genius, One Idiot? And, I want to call you guys out. Which one's the geniuses and which one's the idiot?
Well, see, that's the thing. Every episode, we want the audience to let us know who they think the idiot is. So, absolutely.
I know I've been listening, and you pick on each other quite a bit. If somebody gets the stats wrong, and mind you, so the people know, what kind of a podcast is it?
Well, so we kind of focus on sports, life in general, and then we also like to highlight local craft brew every week.
Okay. Well, when I want to feel like a real man, with my boys, and they're all in the middle, huddled up into a conversation, I go in, hey, did you see that's sports game with that ball last night? It was pretty good, wasn't it? And they look at me, kind of cross-eyed, maybe tilted head. But I worked on a sports station. Over the years, I've worked on terrestrial sports stations, most recently at 93.3 The Source in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's no longer there anymore. But I did work with some Razorback legends and some sports broadcasters. So I learned a little bit. Mostly I was working the board for them, getting their sound bites that they needed, and putting the music in and out. Nice. Now it's three of you, and you can call out the names of who's in the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, so we got my guy Tommy Two Guns. He's on the podcast with us. The other guy, Johnny Phoenix, another gentleman that I've known for quite a few years. And then our producer, Easy E, he's on the board for us, and he's doing all the sound effects and editing for us.
I'm a child of the 80s. The Easy E I knew. He's no longer with us. That's a lofty name to uphold. Easy.
Indeed, it is. We just threw an extra E on there to change it up a little bit.
Well played. All right, so you're right now as we record this. It's March of 2020, and you're about 8 podcasts into it. Tell me how the podcast has grown over the last 8 episodes. It's 1 to 8.
Yeah, it's been pretty phenomenal. We have a Facebook, we have a Twitter, and an Instagram, and have been published. The fan interaction has been pretty awesome. So that has been really exciting. And, we've been averaging about 100 listens per episode at the moment. So we're looking to bump that up. So any shares and retweets we can get, we love. And I appreciate you, Keys Dan, for helping us out there.
Well, that's fan-bloody-tastic for a brand new podcast. Now, like I said, 700,000 podcasts out there and growing. Now, being a sports podcast with, 3 voices on there, I think it does give you a leg up. Whenever I do podcasts with somebody, I get to learn, I get to bounce ideas off of them. I'm bouncing ideas off of you, Mike One. Now, is Mike One your God-given name, or
it is not? But that was that was a name that I felt would work well, because quite honestly, I couldn't come up with anything else. So I rolled with it.
Well,
I'm the most creative guy.
It's probably apparent that Keys Dan's not my God-given name. I was born in South Florida and raised, kind of lived in the Florida Keys a lot, and that name kind of followed me around. So I understand the monikers that get hung on you, and I think yours is a little more universal than mine.
Right.
Here I am in Conway, Arkansas, just north of Little Rock, still holding down the Keys Dan name because my mom and grandma are down there and they're still calling me. Come back. Now, where is a Mike One living at this point?
Oh, so we're in Western Washington, right around the Puget Sound area.
Okay.
So we live Gig Harbor area.
All right. You're gonna have to give me more geography. Is that near the water? Is that in the middle?
It is. So we are around. So the Puget Sound is a large body of water, and lots of land surround it. And it's a big area. Beautiful mountain ranges, beautiful trees, and minutes from the water. So it's all good. It is cold water though. It's not water you really go swimming in.
Well, I think of Washington, I think of wide open spaces, lots of trees, is this a place that you go? I mean, I see you're a married man. Do you go off and do you do a lot of outdoor things, or is primarily you like doing indoor things, watching ball games, or what do you like to do with your time, Mike One?
Well, for me, during the summertime, it's beautiful here. I'd arguably say that we have the best summers here. And then the rest of the 9 months when it's raining, I would say try to play some golf every now and then if you're brave enough. But lots of indoor stuff.
Rain golf? I think I saw that scene in Caddyshack. It's the greatest game I've ever played. And then it gets hit by lightning.
That's right. It's a chance you take. Put on the wild side.
All right. So have you always lived in Washington, or are you from someplace else?
No, I was actually born in Seoul, Korea.
What?
Born in Seoul, Korea.
He's a soul man.
Yeah, I am a soul man. That's right. That's right. You know,
Tell me
Dad was
about
in the
Life and
Army.
Soul, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Life and Soul is cool. I actually went back there a couple years ago, and it's a great place. Good food, let me tell you. Good food.
Okay, so Dad's an Army man. How long
Yeah.
did you spend in Seoul?
I actually only about a year before they moved us to the States.
Gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So, okay, Dad's an Army man. That says a little bit about him. If you judge a book by its cover, that's just the cover. How was
There
Dad
you
growing
go.
up?
Oh, he was good. Good man. Good man.
What did you learn from Dad?
Well, he taught me how to open doors and to have manners and to treat women right. So I respect that.
That's a good boy. Thanks, Dad.
Right.
Good
No
job.
doubt. Thanks, Pops.
Always open doors. My goodness. Whenever I'm with my lady, I open her door and I drive. What? Okay,
Right,
call
right.
me alpha male, call me whatever. Boisterous. Yeah, I've been
Old
called many
school.
things, but yes, and she agrees with me. Having a lady drive while there's a man in the car, it's just
Yeah.
not right.
Sure. I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, unless I've hurt myself, I'm having some medical issues. It doesn't look right.
Right.
So
I'm
yes,
with you.
open
I'm
the
with you.
doors, pay for dinner, which
Absolutely.
leads me to something political, and I'm just going to throw a left curveball at you. Is that a sports term? I guess you're familiar with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That works.
Yeah. Okay. The reason that women make less is because men have to pay for all the dinners and everything.
Hey, I like that.
What do you think?
That seems valid. In my household, I think that would stand. That's a winning argument for me.
I'm old fashioned. I keep the lady at home. She takes care of the kid. She takes care of me. She
Yeah.
homeschools the kid. In fact, I mean, how's
Nice.
the family life for a Mike 1?
It's good. I got a 23-year-old son that's out of the house,
What?
a 17-year-old daughter that's going to be graduating. So me and the wife will be empty nesters here pretty soon. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah, party time.
So okay, 23. Yeah, I think I have a 23. She's in that area. Just made me a
Nice.
grandpa.
Oh, congrats.
And then I got a 14. So, yeah, I still
Excellent.
got a few years before the empty nest. And if she doesn't ever want to leave, that's fine too. But
Yeah, I'm with you.
17, okay, 23, got out of the house. How's she doing? You could brag on her.
Good. He's my son. Yeah, he's doing great. He is working hard right now and detailing cars
Yeah.
and, keeping those cars clean, especially up here in Washington. We need that.
Absolutely,
That's a
man.
never-ending job.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Pete, and if somebody takes pride in their work, as I presume that your son does, a
Absolutely.
detailer is so important for the upkeep of your car. I mean, man, you got to get those grooves, get those edges, you get the white glove treatment. Once they leave, they want to know that they can see their face in that paint. That's man.
That attention to detail.
Yeah. I mean, being a guy, having a clean car is one of those things that just comes
Absolutely.
with being a manly man.
There you go.
So the
Learn
little,
how to change a tire, man.
yeah, for sure. So okay, what's the little lady gonna do? The 17 as she cruises off out of high school into the
When I
world.
go to college, she is an artist and will be going into some computer graphic design.
Excellent, man.
We're excited about that.
From what I understand, you may be able to make movies with just one person, one very talented artist, a graphic designer with with all these the deep fakes and that kind of technology. You could make whole entire movies just using a computer programmer. So
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if she gets really good at doing computers, man, she can probably make her own little movies. Using all these likenesses that get licensed by the different studios. But all right,
Absolutely.
so we're going all over the place, man, and I love that. Okay,
Right
so
on.
bragging on the family. Okay, we talked about Dad a little bit. How was Mom growing up?
Oh, Mom's good. Mom was great. Mom came from Korea, so she had to learn the language and the culture. But let me tell you what, she got her citizenship, and now she is a proud contributing member to society, working her way. and she goes on cruises every year, so she treats herself.
Treat
So we
yourself.
love it. Treat yourself. That's right.
Okay, so did mom work outside of the house? What kind of work did she do, if she did?
Oh, mom, now she's just kind of working at a deli, just kind of enjoying her golden years.
People need to eat. I like a good
Right?
deli.
Exactly.
I think the family went to Subway and they didn't get me anything because I wasn't really hungry. And I don't know if you can really call Subway a deli.
No, I don't know if I would either.
I like a good deli, you know, a good pastrami. I mean, what's the sandwich of choice when you go see mom and have a sandwich?
It'll be a corned beef sandwich and an onion roll.
You better believe it. That's
Yes,
a manly
please.
manly
Yeah,
meal.
that's what I'm
What
talking
kind of
about.
what kind of toppings go on that?
Well, it's got to be mayo, mustard, onions, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah. All right. So mom's living there in Washington with you?
No, she's actually down in Florida.
Florida!
She's up here with me. Yeah, she's across.
That's
We'll be seeing her
what
soon. But
happens. Old people travel down to Florida and
yeah, Florida's
just
the place to be.
you know it. My mom and grandma are down there. Of course, I was
Nice.
born and raised down there, and I left there in 2009 and got here to Arkansas. You know, but tell me more about Koreans in America. How was the? I mean, because I love Korean food. I mean, it's very
Yes.
spicy.
Yes.
It's delicious, but very spicy. So tell me about being a Korean in. Well, I guess you grew up in Washington State. Tell me about.
Well, we actually spent a lot of time down in California too, about 11 years down there.
Okay. Well, tell me
And,
about the upbringing of a Mike One.
Oh, well, it was, rambunctious kid trying to control him. That was a chore for my mother growing up. And luckily, she hung out with a good Korean community where all the other mothers were also your mother. And so they had freedom to slap you around if you got out of line. So, no matter where I was, who I was hanging out with, if you got out of line, it wouldn't be unreal if you got a 1-2 to the head from Aunt Mamie.
One of my favorite comedy routines was boot to the head. Boot to the head. You get a boot to the head, man. I grew up in a Cuban household, so yeah, I'm very
Okay.
familiar with. Well, I guess we had sandals thrown at us. So,
Right.
yeah,
Hey, yeah, those UFOs, you don't know what it is. It's coming at you though.
so brothers and sisters that you messed around with in I guess Koreatown in California.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have 4 sisters and a brother.
Oh man, that's a good sized family.
I agree.
Where do you
I
fall
agree.
in the age? Where do you fall in the
I am
line
the
there?
oldest, so I was able
Oh.
to show them what not to do in life.
Well, that's a lot of
Right.
responsibility. I was the oldest as well, so I made a lot of
Okay.
mistakes, and I think I hope that they learned from my mistakes. I don't think so. My brother, he had his own. He fell into his own crowd, but I tried to steer him in the right direction. But to sometimes to the dismay, but how was it? Leading this group of I guess
Well,
brothers
yeah.
and sisters.
Yeah, no, it was great. Family was always first for us. So growing up with a whole bunch of brothers and sisters like that was great. We loved it. A close knit group, still are to this day. And it was fun. Always getting in trouble. We're a little hard on each other. You get us in a room, and you probably think we hate each other, but I don't know. That's just how we get around each other. But we do it in love. It's all in love.
I think I'd enjoy a family reunion with the Mike One family. That'd be fantastic. Does it get louder and louder? Conversations,
Absolutely.
just cross conversations, 10 conversations at the same time. One guy
Yep.
having 3 different conversations.
Oh yeah, and then you throw in some alcohol and it just amplifies like fireworks.
Well done. All right. So, what kind of stuff did you do extracurricular in school? What was your modus operandi? If I said
Well,
that right.
I know what you meant.
I just made up a
Wow.
word.
I like it. Hashtag.
I'm a wordsmith.
There you go. There you go. Wow. Extracurricular times really was not much. Gosh, football when I was in junior high and high school. And then I started working when I was 15 and a half. I had a job and have been working ever since.
What? You were playing the foosball, and then
I was. It's the devil, but I played it.
so all right. Hey, I guess I'm with you there. You know what? What did I get for my 15th birthday? A job.
That's right.
What kind of
That's
work did you do to start off with? And was this for extra spending money or helping out with the fam?
No, it was for spending money, and I started picking golf balls at a golf range. Was my first job, so that was pretty good times.
All right,
times,
going back to Caddyshack, was that a tough
Right.
job? Were they aiming for you while you were out there?
Well, thankfully, when we did it, it was prior to the golf range opening, so it was usually 5 a.m. We were out there, grabbing those golf balls.
Wait, at 15, you're out there at 5 a.m. What about school, Mike? What about school?
Well, this was on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
During the week, I had a part-time job at McDonald's.
All right. I think I had some McDonald's today. That's a place that's not going to close anytime soon, I think.
Yeah, right.
And I was listening to another podcast, and it was a comedian. I think it might have been Comedy Bang Bang, and he was talking about he was traveling around the world, and McDonald's is your friend. It might not be the best food, but it's always the same food around the world. Yeah. I mean, yes, don't eat it. Eat it in moderation. Don't get crazy. But instead of eating the local food in some of these places that he's doing his routines, I mean, how are you? Speaking of world traveling, I mean, how you seem a little well traveled, but where have you been in your lifetime? I already got D.C. and where in California were you living?
So San Diego
Yeah,
and Riverside are two places down in California.
yeah, the South.
Yes, SoCal.
You went from no rain to a lot of rain.
Yeah, that was quite the transition we had. I might still be trying to transition after 25 years. It's still tough. Still tough.
So
But, we persevere.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, did you graduate high school down in South California? Or?
No, so went to school up to 8th grade down in Southern California, and then moved up to Washington, and I graduated from Olympic High School up here in Bremerton, Washington.
Well, how'd you make that transition? Why did the fam move?
Military.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So what was Dad's job in the Army?
So dad, we had two dads. So,
Okay, got it.
So
That's an American family.
Divorce happened when at a young age.
Yeah.
Mom got remarried to a Navy guy. And
Moving on up.
Yeah. So I was from Southern California up to Bremerton, where there's a big naval base.
Okay, because I know there's one in South California. I guess that's where they met then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then what kind of job did he do?
He was a gunner's mate.
Oh, I mean that sounds kind of like a tough
and
guy.
maintain the guns.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
tough guy. How was he growing up? Okay, how long did you spend with your dad in your life, and then transition to your stepdad?
So let's see, probably at 5 years old. So yeah, about five. Oh, how long was it? I don't even know how many years it was. 18 years they were married, I believe, or so. And then they got divorced, and then she married the second one. And I think they were married for about 18 years.
Hey, sometimes things don't work out. My mom did the same thing. She married at a young age, and my dad didn't stick around. But hey, did you get to see your dad at all?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Still got to keep in touch. You learned some things from him.
Absolutely, always.
And the difference.
Unfortunately,
between
about 5 years ago, he passed away. He had Parkinson's disease, but he was a good man. Good man.
What kind of work did he do in the Army then?
So when he was in the, honestly, I don't even know what he did in the Army.
Yeah.
Because I was so young when he was in the Army. When he got out, he got a job and became a computer programmer.
Oh,
and,
all right.
Worked for IBM and NCR.
That's pretty lucrative in that time, I guess. Let's see. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 97.
97. So you're about 10 years younger. I graduated 86. So you're a child of the 90s, probably all the music that you liked back then. But still, Absolutely. In the 90s, being in IBM, man, that's a pretty, it could be lucrative. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he did good for himself. Well,
good. And then transitioning from Army to Navy man. What is the Navy man? How was that growing up?
It was different, but it was good. Some good life lessons. When people in the military, it's good because they're disciplined and regimented, and it's good.
Structure.
I think it instills character, right, and helps you through life.
Going back to my brother, he's a Navy man, and he's been on the podcast. So if you listeners, if you want to listen to Kenneth West Hughes, his Magpie, his podcast, he told his whole life story, and there was a lot of stuff, brothers, and I didn't know. He dropped out of high school, but then he went into the Navy, and it straightened him right up, man. Became a good family man. He got some structure in his life. And that's something that I guess the armed forces could do. And, I wish that we did not need the armed forces. I wish that the only job that they had to do was go all over the world and help people, Seabees, and help them, build infrastructure and build their lives back up. Hey, this war stinks, man.
Yeah. No doubt.
Hopefully, we're getting out of it soon, and that's my political rant.
Right on.
I try. But hey, it is what it is.
That's right.
But you had some good upbringing with some good military men, because just good men in general, and a good lady. How was the? You already told me a little bit about the Korean discipline, where one of the ladies could have smacked you in the head, and how do you feel about that? I mean, were you able to go outside and play? That's something that kids don't do anymore. I have a 14-year-old. She goes to the door and opens it to check the weather, and then closes it, and then goes back to her seat and plays on her phone. Is that my fault?
That sounds about right.
It might be my fault. No.
Well, I think that's just a generation. I know I played outside until the streetlights came on. That was a regular thing.
Yeah, I mean, so what kind of thing? Yeah, what kind of things did you get into? I mean, did you go out to the movies or arcades or?
No, we really just played with kids in our neighborhood. Basketball, baseball, riding our bikes around.
Yeah.
Tag, freeze tag, hide and seek, all that good stuff.
That's what kids need to do.
Right.
Get outside. Move. Man, you want to know where the kids are? Just look for the pile of bikes, man. That's where the kids are.
Right. That's exactly right.
Oh, man. How did one generation change from that? I mean, does your kid play outside, or did your kids play outside as they were growing up?
Yeah, we kind of forced them to play outside, I think, because we were always outside. But one thing that I noticed that was so different was when I was growing up, what I couldn't wait to turn 16 to get my license so I could get that freedom.
Yeah.
And both of my kids were just in no hurry to get their license.
Huh.
It blew me away.
Huh.
Now my daughter has hers, and she understands the freedom that comes with it, and she loves it now. But up until that point, I don't know. I guess it was just that good at home. They didn't need to leave.
Okay, well, that's a little bit about you, man. Yeah, I got a daughter that wants to stay home forever, and I'm cool with that.
Right.
But I mean, I fear for the day that she goes dating. I worry about that. I mean, how was the boy growing up in his dating situation as opposed to the girl? If there was any differences.
Oh yeah, definitely. Luckily, right now, my daughter's focused on school and getting into a college, so she's not looking at dating. So I'm very thankful for that. It definitely doesn't have the same feel as when my son was dating, which is weird. I don't know why, but definitely very much more protective with my daughter.
Hey, anybody thinks boys and girls are not different? They are. They're different.
Right.
And I'm not telling anybody anything that they don't know. Come on. Boys and girls are different. This equal rights thing, it's nice that, treated the same, but there's just some things that men can do and some things that girls can do. I mean, girls make all the people, all of them.
True story.
Every one of them.
Story.
And I don't want any man to ever take that away. You know, I'm okay with the trans people, man, but you're not going to make any people.
Right. Right.
You know, a guy going to girl, but hey, that's a whole nother story. I'm just learning from you. I'm picking your brain, Mike One.
That's great.
From two genius, one idiot. I don't think you're the idiot. I really don't. I'm finding out more and more that you got some smarts to you. So what what kind of schooling did you do? How far did you go?
So went and got a 2-year degree on professional development type training.
What's that?
So I spent a lot of time training and teaching. So I, kind of in that field is a good time. I really enjoy that. So, being in training, I like it because I get to be the center of attention. I have a captive audience. It may not be by choice, but they're captive regardless. And seems like the perfect setting for me.
What's training though? What are you training?
Well, so we train individuals like how to drill in metal, how to rivet into metal, install fasteners, and how to build things with metal.
Manly man stuff.
That's right. Get in the shop and make something.
Okay, so at your home, do you have a shop? How's the shop at home?
Shop is great. I don't have a lot of room, so that's why I like working at the tools, with the tools at work.
Okay.
But yes, my garage consists of my wife's car and my motorcycle.
Hey, dig it, man. Dig it.
Yes.
How's riding a motorcycle up there? I haven't ridden one since 1987. I wrecked. And yeah, I mean, real bad. And I haven't, sporadically, I've gotten on a dirt bike in San Diego. In fact, I traveled around the country and I met up with some friends and he said, "Hey, take that dirt bike and we're going to go on these trails." So I was like, "Ooh, this is about 2000." So 87 was when I got in my wreck. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I want to do this," but it was out in the dirt and I was like, "Okay, we can do this. No problem." But yeah, I mean, how's riding bikes out there? And is there helmet laws? And even if there's not, do you wear a helmet?
Oh, yes, there are helmet laws. I would wear one regardless. I just can't imagine taking a bee, to the eye at 70 miles an hour. So I don't even want to entertain that idea. But riding bikes around here is great in the summertime.
Cool.
I'm a fair weather rider, I call it, because if it's raining, I am not riding.
You cage that thing. Do you
That's correct.
Do you belong to a club out there, or do you ride with people?
I ride with my father-in-law and a few friends. I'm not a part of a club or anything. I don't think I ride enough to really be part of a club. But I've had the bike for about 7 years. So yeah, now it's just kind of a hobby on a nice day.
All right, brag on the bike. What kind of bike?
I have a 2009 Yamaha FJR. It's a 1300.
1300. That's a lot of CCs, baby.
It's a lot of CCs. It's a fast bike.
How's the chrome? You got black chrome or silver chrome?
I have silver chrome, but I don't have a ton of it. Since this has got the fairings on it, I don't have to deal with so much of the chrome. There's a lot of Harleys up here, though, that have a lot of chrome.
Yeah, well, that's where your boy comes in with his detail shop, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
All right, now you can tell the name of the boy's detail shop. How to get a hold of him?
Hey, Danny O'Neill. Look him up, DannyO'Neill@gmail.com.
And that's in which area?
That is going to be in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. That's a lot of people up there. Okay.
Your boy.
Oh, you better believe it, man. Get him some work.
That's right. That's right.
Is he a family man or is he just getting out into the world?
He's just getting out into the world.
That's fantastic, man.
And I'm
all the best.
With that.
All the best to you, man. That's great. No, and I tell people, take their whole 20s. I've said it so many times on this podcast. You're still made of rubber, man. You've got Wolverine healing powers. Fall down on your face in your 20s. Do it. And that's what, man, I hope he's doing everything he wants to do right now.
Absolutely.
Because by the time you're 30, you start thinking, start settling down, pick a mate, maybe have a few pups.
Maybe, yeah.
maybe. Hey, I'm sure grandma's, your mom's probably saying, when you going to get some kids?
Oh, yeah.
She's waiting for babies.
Uh-huh.
That's what all grandmas do, man. They wait
Always,
for babies.
right?
That's all the world around, man. And people that think that we're all different, no, we're all pretty much the same.
Agreed.
I don't care, Democrat, Republican, left, right. Everybody wants the same thing, man.
Right.
Roof over their heads, good family time, food in their belly. Yeah. If people just talk to each other. And that's what you do.
No
you
doubt.
talk to each other, man. So
That's right.
when you get, all right, let's get into it with your podcast. As you started, how long have you known the other two boys in this podcast?
So Tommy Two Guns, I think I've known it's been about 4 years. Johnny Phoenix, I've known for about 15 years.
What? How'd you meet them?
Through work.
Okay, through
work,
the training work.
Yeah, and so as you work with people, sometimes you just have a good connection instantly, and that's just what it was with these guys. And the way this whole podcast started was we play Xbox all the time, and Eazy-E was sitting on the couch listening to us talk while we're playing games, and he said, you guys are kind of funny. Maybe you should do a podcast.
Yeah, where did Eazy-E come in?
Man, he was rooming with Johnny Phoenix at the time.
Okay, all right. So when you say you have a producer, does he not? He's not part of the podcast. He runs the board for you.
Yeah, he runs the board. He has a mic. We're gonna start introducing him more.
Yeah,
he's a little shy. We're gonna break him out of his shell and get him a little more involved.
Hey, that's fancy, man. I don't have a producer. I do it all myself. I'll mix it down. I I'll put it through the Adobe Audition. Make sure the levels are right, and take all the pops and clicks out as best I can. And because and it's good that you have somebody. How did Eazy-E become a producer? Does he have that kind of training, or was this a YouTube learning?
YouTube learning and passion. He was willing to learn and to step in. He's a techie kind of guy anyways. And so it was a perfect fit.
Excellent. Yeah, I've been a DJ for a long time, and I know a little bit about boards, but I don't think I could, I couldn't produce a music podcast, but definitely voice. So Eazy-E, It's good to have an Eazy-E, man. Somebody taking care of you. And
Absolutely.
And he's roommates with Johnny Phoenix, or at least he was.
Yes.
And Johnny Phoenix is the one that you know the longest?
Yeah, he's like my little brother.
Where'd you meet up?
So it was at a phone company we were working at in Seattle.
Okay.
It used to be called Quest Communications. It's no longer there. But we met there. We were on the 16th floor together, and I don't know. We just got along really well.
What kind of work were you doing, Mike One?
We were in the collections department. Yeah.
Pay your bill.
No, that's right. Exactly right.
Doing some thumb breaking there a little bit?
Yep.
No thumb breaking.
Out.
No thumb breaking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's a joke, folks.
Or am I? Or am I?
Yeah, that's right.
Right now, I have my
bill. You'll find out.
Right now, I have my finger pressed to my nose in a certain kind of way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so you worked in collections. Hey, man, the companies need collections because sometimes people, forget to pay their bills. I think I've worked for a company before where I had to try to get people to pay. And how good were you in collections, man? If you excel, if you do a job, do you excel at that job?
I do. I don't like to go in mediocre, but I will say that working in the collections department, it was not my favorite job.
Nope.
Put it that way.
Begging people for money, no, it's not a good job.
Yeah, not fun.
And you probably have empathy like anybody else does, or most people do, where you see, okay, I know, man, it's a choice of either eating or pay your phone bill. I'm going to cut your phone off, and that might affect the way that you live.
Right.
Shoot, were you having to go to people's houses and collect a check?
No, thankfully it was all over the phone.
Good.
But I learned really quickly words that work and words that don't work. So that was a good lesson.
Good, man. Good. Well, all right. And you were working with Johnny Phoenix on that one, and he was doing the same job, and you were in cubicles pretty much right next to each other?
They were. It got us in trouble often.
Hey, speaking of cubicles, how'd you decorate yours? Was there a lot of sports talk, or how was your
Lots of
cubicle?
family pics and
Oh.
lots of pictures of the Green Bay Packers because I'm a huge Packers fan.
All right, getting into the foosball, and
Yes.
how okay, where did that love for football? Wait, let's talk about the meeting of the other one, and then we'll talk about the love for football, how that started.
Yes.
What's the name of your other cohort?
Tommy Two Guns.
Tommy Two Guns. How did you meet
Yes.
him? Four
I met
years ago.
him, actually, it was at a buddy's party, what we call bachelor party.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we met.
Was it a good bachelor
And
party? Was it a manly man bachelor party?
it was great. It was PG, though. It's PG. We went to a beer and bacon fest,
Hey, okay.
and it was all the beer and all the bacon. So it was great.
You had me at bacon.
Yeah, right? I mean, I guess that's kind of manly.
Yeah, you better believe it. Man, I've never heard of that. I mean, hey, my bachelor party, they took me to a strip club. It was the worst experience I ever had.
Oh, no.
Terrible.
Oh.
Had three girls, scantily clad, beat me with my friends' belts. And I said, "This sucks. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's get out of here."
Wow, that sounds brutal.
Yeah. How was your bachelor party?
It was very mediocre because I was 18 when I got married.
Oh, that's
I
sweet.
had my first son, first child, and got married at the age of 18. So our wedding was very low key. The food was handmade. A friend did the wedding for us. So super low key.
Yeah, but I'm sure a good time had by all.
And it was good opportunity, for all the girls to reuse their dance dresses too. So
Oh, how cool is that? Yeah, 18 is a very young age to be married. All right, let's finish how you met with Tommy Two Guns, and then maybe we'll talk about your love story.
Sure. So Tommy Two Guns. So we had met the moment that I knew Tommy Two Guns was my kind of guy. We were walking through downtown Seattle, and we went into a little mini mart to buy a 6-pack of beer, and they didn't sell bottle openers. So we asked the lady, "Hey, do you have a bottle opener?" And she goes, "Well, I'll have to open all 6 of them if I do this."
What?
And we said, "Okay." So she opened all 6, and we walked downtown Seattle with the open 6-pack and chugged those beers. And I knew, Tommy, that's my guy. And ever since then, he's been my spirit animal.
It's a fantastic meeting, man. Hey, that's how you bond right there.
That's right.
Over a few beers. That's
There you go.
That's a manly man thing to do, and maybe that's
Right?
the theme of this podcast is manly
Yeah.
man. All right, so
Love it.
let's go through the love story before you go to your love for football. How you fell in love at an early age, at 18, a tender age?
Yeah. Well, so I met my wife at a McDonald's, actually. I was working in the grill. She was working in front.
Sweet.
And I just happened to see a cute girl at the fry station. But it was one of those things where I was a little dweeb when I was 18. And all the other guys in the grill with me at McDonald's said, I'm going to ask her out first. So, I knew I didn't have a chance. 2 days later, I'm eating lunch in the break room by myself, and she comes and asks me out.
Yeah, she did.
So, hey, sometimes guys get lucky. What can I say? I married up, and I know I did, and I'm okay with it.
And the generosity of some women never ceases to amaze me. Yes, I look at the girls I've loved before. Yes, and yes,
Right.
generous, very generous. No, I'm sure you got your qualities. You're good. You're a good dude. Yeah, you were holding down a job from a young age, and you're still holding down a job.
That's right.
To have a man that's gainfully employed is a very precious thing. And that's, man, you work hard, and
Yes.
you take care of your family, and you got a loving wife and 2 kids. That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Good stuff. I can't complain.
All right, where did your love for, okay, you say you played football until 8th grade. Is that where your love for football came about, and who was your team back then?
No. So when we moved from Seoul, Korea, we
Okay.
stopped in Wisconsin for 5 years. and that's where all of my dad's family lives. And so this family split half between Chicago Bears and half between Green Bay Packers. Somehow I got brainwashed into the Green Bay Packers and at a young age, and it stuck with me ever since.
Okay. So do you go all the way when you go and watch a game at your local sports bar?
Oh yes, I have way more Packers clothes than regular clothes, I'm afraid.
Full colors? How's the face paint situation?
Ooh, no face paint for me.
Okay.
No face paint for me. You know, I like to keep the face el natural.
And the boy, did he share the love, or the girl, did she share the love?
Well, so the wife's a Broncos fan. The daughter followed that, and my son is a New Orleans Saints fan.
What?
Yep.
You're diversified, man.
Diversified.
That's a family divided.
True story, yes.
So, all right. So, if any of those teams play against each other, I mean, is there rivalry within the family?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but everybody's wearing
Those
their
are the
colors.
best. Oh, you bet they are.
You know, born and raised in Miami. Hey, I'm a Miami Dolphin. As much fandom as I could have for them. I think I have one shirt left at the bottom of one of my drawers that I hardly ever wear. You know, Bob Greasy and Don Shula. No, Bob Greasy and Don Shula was my first foray into fandom.
Nice.
You know, in 1972 when they won their perfect season.
Yes.
I was born in '69, so I'm about 10 years older than you. But the Dolphins were my jam growing up, and I remember seeing them at the Orange Bowl. I never really watched football on TV or any sports on TV, but to go to a game, that's the experience. How about you? What do you think about that?
Oh, I love going to a game. You know, watching it on TV is okay. It's definitely cheaper.
Yeah.
But you miss out on the whole experience. You know, the buzz in the stadium, you know, the smell of the food, paying $15 for a beer, like all of that stuff.
Spilling said beer on you.
You're right. Yes, that's true. That is true.
Well, I guess second to that would be going to a sports bar and hanging with your boys, or you know, having a few of your friends over on the big screen TV, because people have their own sound systems now. And
absolutely,
shoot, I tell people when they're going to buy these 60-inch TVs, I took a projector and I put it up against the wall, and I have right now I'm using a white king size sheet, and it goes end to end, 104 inches across.
Nice.
Yes, complete HD. Now I'm about to step up and get one of those screens, so it's the same size screen, so it has that movie quality. But I tell people, look, don't buy that 60-inch TV. Go get yourself a $400 projector instead of a $1,000 TV. And put it up against the white wall, or
awesome.
A sheet. It is awesome. And talk about, watching sports or movies or anything like that. I mean, how's your home entertainment system?
It's not bad. 65-inch plasma at the moment.
Baby.
With the sound system. So, we're doing all right. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, and what's the typical weekend for you? Do you have people over, or is your sports watching kind of a solo effort or a family family time?
Unfortunately, my family doesn't really like watching sports with me, so usually that's a solo thing. We usually record our podcasts on Saturdays, so we kind of dedicate Saturdays for prep and then recording and editing, and then Sunday is usually family day.
What's prep? I never prepare for these things. I mean, I listened to your podcast today for right. That was my prep for today.
Well, I will do some research on topics. We usually go through topics of football, NFL, XFL, talk about what's going on in the world of sports, any crazy stories that are going on. We really like to talk about MMA, mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
And get into that.
Yeah.
So I have a list of topics that I take them through. Since I'm usually hosting the show, leading the conversation, I usually have some points that I want to hit on and get the guys' reaction, and then have a nice spirited debate about it.
Did you get into martial arts growing up?
I did. Growing up in the Korean culture, Taekwondo was a huge part of regular life.
It's not just a stereotype.
No, it's not. It's a real thing.
Yes.
It's a real thing.
So what was the style? What was the
Taekwondo was the style.
Taekwondo? Yeah, I got a yellow belt in a lot of different styles, and Taekwondo is one of them. I had it mixed with Hapkido.
There you go.
This is in the Florida Keys, and yes, we did the Korean style, saluted the Korean flag. It was very spiritual. I do recommend it for the kids that are growing up. If not the Army, if not the Boy Scouts, it gives you structure as well, and exercise for that matter. I was doing that in my 20s. And I remember the teacher, making me do those Van Damme splits and pushing my butt down. I never got total Van Damme, but I did get 6 inches off the ground. And I did learn Hana, Dul, Set, Net, Yaset, Daset, Ilgap, Yadul.
Wow, 잘한다.
Yay! 감사합니다. How much Korean do you still remember?
Not much. I can understand more than I can speak, and I can read it, but I don't necessarily understand what I'm reading. So it's pretty useless.
Sounds like me and my Spanish, man. I know enough Spanish, half Cuban. I know enough Spanish to work on a bilingual radio station down in South Florida, and I was able to do that. It was two English songs, two Spanish, two English, two Spanish, and then we'd speak in kind of a broken English Spanglish type. But so talking to your mom, when you go home to mom, you don't practice Korean a little bit?
I definitely try to.
Yeah.
I try to keep up, but my stamina in Korean is pretty soft right now.
Oh, man, don't lose it, kids. Don't lose it. I got my daughter. Nice. She's learning Japanese on her own. She is like, I guess if a Japanophile, would that be a proper word?
Yeah.
But all things Japanese, man. She is into it, playing the games and learning the language, and just the learning of that language is just amazing to me. And so if you can learn a second language, and believe me, Spanish has gotten me so many jobs that I'm not qualified for. So kids out there, learn a second language.
That's awesome.
Oh, it is awesome, man. I mean, have you gotten any jobs knowing the Korean that you do know?
No, I haven't really had any jobs that I could use that with.
Got it.
I think I know just as much Spanish as I do Korean.
All right. Well, that's this is in the learning podcast category. It was the only place I could really fit this thing in, and I'm learning from you, Mike. Right on. Yes, of the two genius, one idiot. I don't think you're the idiot in this podcast. You're not. You're not. I'm learning from you, man. So
can't wait for them to hear that.
Yeah. So, all right. So, is it just football, or is it all sports? Besides
all sports,
but do you memorize these stats, or do you have to look them up for every podcast?
Oh no, I definitely look up stats. I want to make sure that the stats we're reporting on are at least somewhat accurate. So, we do a little bit of research to try to make sure that we're doing that. But yeah, absolutely. That's part of the prep that we do, just so we can try to talk at least somewhat intelligently about what's going on with the sport life.
Well,
I don't want to sound like back chair quarterbacks or anything.
Well, so I can put a bow on your martial arts. How far did you go in Taekwondo?
Oh, I had a brown belt.
Brown belt, excellent, man. Like I said, yellow, because it was always like $50 for a belt. I took Goju when I was a kid, yellow belt. It was a Filipino Cali, yellow belt.
Okay.
It's just yellow belt. I know just enough to beat myself up.
Okay.
But it's good exercise, man. So brown belt, that's good.
It is.
And tell me about MMA, because I remember the first MMA when it came out. It was amazing. The Gracies were amazing, man.
Yes, they were.
Tell me about your life. As Well, your experience with MMA, you say you like to talk about
So I used to do some sparring, grappling, sparring. And so I really, really enjoyed just the art of martial arts. And then when the UFC came out, David and Goliath matches and all that stuff, it was just so intriguing to me. Nowadays, the athletes in MMA are just such good athletes. When they used to have karate versus wrestling or
Right.
boxing versus sumo, now, these athletes, they're so well-rounded, they know a little bit of everything.
They have to be. They have to
Right.
be, because it was always the grapplers that would end up winning everything. If you knew
Right.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you were a shoe-in, especially if you were fighting against a stand-up boxer, or,
Yeah.
if dare I say it, a Taekwondo, because Taekwondo is hands and feet. They make your
Right.
feet, just like your hands. Bam. But there's not a lot of grappling unless you did take the Hapkido with it.
Right, right. I think that Taekwondo is really good for show. I
Uh-huh.
just don't know if it's really good for practical use.
Well, did you take was there a grappling that was mixed with it, or was it straight Taekwondo?
When I was taking Taekwondo, that was straight Taekwondo.
Straight Taekwondo. Yeah,
Then
I
I started doing some Jeet Kune Do, and then we started doing
Bruce
some,
Lee style.
Yes, exactly.
Hey,
We
if you're
started
gonna
doing
do it,
some
man,
grappling.
do it right. No limits. Is that Jeet Kune Do? I never had
Yeah.
the chance to take it, but I remember all the movies and I've seen the documentaries. And what it is no limits. What's your experience with Jeet Kune Do?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Every part of your body is a weapon, and so the message really he had is don't get caught up in the style that you're learning. Because just because a karate block is this way doesn't mean you can't block it like this because it's more efficient, or works better. And so he was trying to break the mold of people being in their own cultures and styles and saying, look, use your arms and body as a weapon regardless. And absolutely, like you say, free flowing like water.
Ah, be Walter, my friend.
That's
Man,
right.
I wasted whole Saturdays with my friends growing up. You're talking about playing outside. Yeah, we rode our bikes down to the cinema and just spent the whole day with watching kung fu movies, man.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just Bruce Lee because, he passed on before he got really big,
Right.
like 2 months before his movie came out, and everybody was, wow, who's this Bruce Lee guy? And dead. Oh,
Right.
and then they come
Same
up
with
with
his son.
yeah, and then they come up with Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee. There was a lot of Bruce Lee wannabes
Imposters.
that came out.
Yes.
Imposters, correct. But they had their own qualities. There were people, they would wear glasses, big giant glasses, to make themselves look even more like Bruce Lee. But there was only
True.
one, man. But yeah, I spent a lot of Saturdays with my friends watching.
Yeah, Jackie Chan had some great ones back in the day too.
Oh, you better believe it. Rumble in
Yeah.
the Bronx, man. Oh,
bet.
yes. All these movies. The dubbing in some of those movies is crazy.
Just makes it better.
But it's crazy. There's one
sure is.
where Jackie Chan, I think I just saw it in a documentary that's on Netflix now, where Jackie Chan was laying on the floor talking to his sensei, and the only words that they mouthed on him, you could tell he was saying something important, but they said, and that's it. And he was saying something important to his sensei, and that's how you're going to dub it? Come on, man.
That is too bad. That is too bad.
Very
You missed
bad.
out on something there.
I missed out on some important stuff that Jackie was saying.
I agree.
Now, amazing. And they wanted him to be Bruce Lee. There's no way. No, Jackie Chan had to be Jackie Chan, man.
Yeah.
Well, he was acrobat. Oh, still.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, his stunts were incredible.
Oh, and the end of the movies are always the best, where they show the stunts that didn't go quite well, but you could
Right.
tell that he did them all himself, man.
Yeah, those outtakes were painful.
Yeah, painful to watch, and he hurt himself.
Oh, yes.
All right, Mike 1, 2 genius, 1 idiot. We are going through your life, man, and the things you like to do and the things that you're into, man. So what else are you into?
Well, I like playing music.
Huh?
I'm a bass and drums player, so
Why didn't we talk about that till now?
I
when
don't
did
know.
that start?
Oh, that started like seventh grade. I played the saxophone,
What?
and then in high school switched to drums, and then after high school switched to bass.
Well, no. Tell me how the kids treated you with that sexy sax.
Well, seventh and eighth grade, it wasn't the coolest instrument to play.
It was probably bigger than you. Was it a big sax?
It was. It definitely was. Yeah, that was a chore. I was a little dweeb back in middle school, so yeah, that was a real issue.
Oh man! But do you still play the sax?
No, I do not play that anymore. Now I'm strictly rhythm.
Yeah. Did you
Bass and drums.
get together with some people and play?
Oh yeah, you bet.
What?
You bet. We
They're
had
like a
jam
band
sessions.
situation?
Not yet.
Is it
Nothing
coming?
that serious. I don't have time to do that yet.
Oh, come on! You got to make time for that. Oh, please.
One of these days. One of these days.
Mosh, you're in prime, man. You got your life all set now. Well, I guess now you got the podcast to take the time off
True.
your hands, man.
Well, maybe once the daughter graduates and goes to college, maybe, we'll see.
Okay, I mean, but have you played on stage anywhere?
Oh yeah. You bet.
Okay,
We've done shows.
tell me about that situation.
Oh, there's nothing like playing shows.
Yeah.
Just at little places here and there. Nothing major. I've never been on a major stage.
Yeah, but how did it make you feel, man? Being in front of 20 or 50 or 100, man?
It's exhilarating. It's cool to have people come out and actually listen to the music that you're creating.
Isn't it, though?
It's
I mean,
really
you're
cool.
doing that with your podcast. You're creating something out of thin air for people to listen. It's like well, okay. I know we talked about this, that women make the babies, but whenever you make something like music or a podcast, it's like you're creating something here.
Right.
You're putting it out to the world. That's
Right.
got to feel good, man. And people are responding.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you write music? Did you play other people's music?
We just played other people's music, cover music, lots of Stone Temple Pilots.
When was this? In the 90s?
No, we do a big annual show every August.
Still
And
doing it?
Yeah, we have another one coming up this August.
Who's we? You keep talking about this we. Is it a band?
Well, I mean, it's a bunch of guys. We like to pretend like we're a band, but we only play once a year. So,
All right. When is this show coming up? Come on. People got to know.
Boy, I don't even know the date. I know it's in August, though.
All right. How are they going to find out about it? They're going to find out from your website, from your page. I'm going to link to it.
Absolutely. Hey, you can go to www.2genius1idiot.com and come to our website for that information.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
So did the other two guys play in the band with you, or is
Negative.
this a whole nother set of peeps?
They are just groupies.
All right, he called you out. You're the groupies. Yeah, you carry the equipment.
That's right. That's right.
Get him some waters and some M&Ms and take out the brown ones.
There you go. That's right. I don't like those.
Make sure his rider is completely taken care of.
That's right. I like all M&Ms though.
No, but
discriminate.
that's very that's classic though. I think it was the riders that Van Halen put together. Classic was take out the green ones or something like that. The reason that bands do that, they'll give you a rider, maybe 20 things on there. Get me fresh water. Make sure there's fruit in the room. Make sure the electric is proper. And then they'll throw in a one on the side, like put M&Ms in the room, take out the green ones. And if there's any green M&Ms in that room, they'll know that they got to check that rider and make sure that the electric's right and make sure everything, it's to make sure it's to make sure that everything's proper, man. So yeah,
test.
Yeah, it is. Make sure that the stage manager's doing his job. And yeah,
I like it.
So whenever you play, you make sure you put a zinger in that rider.
Will do. I like that. I like it.
Make sure that there's Baby Ruth in a bowl,
right,
or whatever your favorite candy is. All right. So you're not disclosing what the name of the band is. Probably no name. Are you
we don't even have a name.
Are you going to shout out the other band members at least?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's still I know that my buddy Theron's going to be there.
Good. Good. You got
Sam's
one.
gonna be there.
What does he play?
But the rest of them, Scotty might be playing with us again.
What do they play? What does he play?
Both of them play electric guitar.
Electric guitar. That's you got a rhythm and you got a lead, and they could probably
Yes.
switch off.
And then the drummer and singer are up in the air at the moment.
We need a
So
drummer
that
and
could be a
singer.
problem. Yeah.
We got a bass. Now, when you
that's
play
true.
bass, do you have bass face? Do you put it out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
you
Own it.
Yes, man. I mean, like Flea, like Sting. Who's the bassist that you look up to?
Ooh, wow. The bassist that I look up to. Boy, that's a good one. I would have to say, man, I don't know if I have one.
Well, give me a few.
I like Flea.
Oh yeah, he definitely had bass face.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Showman.
He owned it. I don't remember the name, but the guy from Dave Matthews Band. I enjoy him. And I like some from some jazz bassists. I just don't have any names for you at the moment.
Okay, all right.
Trying to blank.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I know I put you on the spot there, Mike One. But yeah, man, I didn't even know you were a musician till now, and that started in school. See, take music, man. That'll expand your mind. Who knows where it'll take you? And you still,
absolutely,
yeah. And do your kids play at all, or?
My daughter plays the flute. Yeah, she's been playing for 7 years.
Don't lose the flute, man. I know she's an artist in other ways. When she does art, is it all on the computer, or she puts pen to paper?
She does pen to paper as well, and watercolors, acrylics. Yeah, she kind of dabbles in all of that.
Yeah, you got a lot of her art up on the refrigerator?
We do.
Yeah.
Around the house.
Brag on those kids. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right. So you got the podcast, 2 Genius, 1 Idiot, and you have a website for that, you said?
We do. www.2genius1idiot.com. And the numbers are the actual numbers. So it's the number 2 Genius, number 1 Idiot.
All right. I'm looking at the page on Facebook, and all I can see is 2 pictures. Am I on the wrong one?
I don't know. Honestly, I have to check that out because I know Eazy-E was making some updates on it, and I haven't. I haven't seen it since he updated it.
Well, all right. I mean, it has the 3 light bulbs. Look for that logo, and then it has a picture of two of the podcasters are up, talking into mics. One's got an OU shirt on, and the other one,
Tommy Two Guns.
That's Tommy Two Guns, and the other dude, maybe that is a Miami Dolphins shirt.
Yep, that is Johnny Phoenix. You and him would get along, both Dolphins fans.
Oh, fantastic. See? And he's a big dude, too, just like me.
Nice.
How did he end up being a Dolphin?
I don't even know how he became a Dolphins fan, but we make fun of him for it all the time.
I believe you. People make fun of me, too. And, because every time they do that sports talk with the ball and stuff,
right.
I'll say, how the Dolphins doing? And they go, huh? And that same cross-eyed, cockhead look comes right at me, man.
Right.
All right. So we need some more representation on your Facebook page. But I got your website, and I will put that in the show notes for show. Anything else you want to explore?
No, I don't think so. I feel good. Just that that we're on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, buddy.
Facebook, and would love for fans to follow, tweet, and interact with us.
Yeah, it's a fledgling podcast. 8 episodes in. You're at the ground floor, and nothing to do but go up, man. And I'm sure you'll accept some suggestions from listeners on topics and see things you want to cover. There's some funny dudes, man. There's some funny guys. So thank you, Mike One, for chatting with me on the podcast, man. And so usually I end these things with last words for the people. I give you the last words for the people, Mike One. Words to live by, words of wisdom, something that you could think of. Last words for the people, Mike One.
Well, I just want to say, come check out our podcast, 2 Genius, 1 Idiot. Come let us know who the idiot is. Maybe it's all 3 of us, and that's okay. But, we're just a bunch of regular guys who work full-time jobs, who are having fun making a podcast. and we hope you'll come check it out.
Well, there you have it, party people. Mike One of the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast. I put the links in the show notes, so if you want to find out more, hey, I encourage you to go right there. Follow them on social media, and you're gonna have a good time listening to these boys just talk about sports. Sports talk. When the sports ball and the sports guy is up there on doing his sports thing with a ball or the puck or the oblong shaped thing that they're throwing through the air. Sports talk. I think I make it out a little. I try to be a little funnier than I really am, than I really should. I think I'm forcing it. I like going to the games. I like going to watch a baseball game, going to a football game, going to a hockey game. I like going and checking out the games. Just sit and watch it on TV, especially by myself. Now, if I had some friends, maybe some people coming over, hey, that'd be fine. I just never really got into it. I never got into watching sports with my pals. We always found something else to do. But yeah. I think I'm going to continue listening to the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast purely for the entertainment value of it. Having these three guys I guess it's four guys because they're going to let Eazy-E in on it. He doesn't have to just run the board. Put a mic on that guy. We need another voice. Chime in. Thank you so much, Mike One, for telling your story, or at least a little bit of your story, and telling me a little bit about, or telling me and the listeners a little bit about what you do and who you are and how you came to be Mike One of the Two Genius, One Idiot podcast. Well, that's it for this installment of the What Makes You Famous podcast. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you, yes, you, the listener, to tell your story. Give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
If you like what you hear, follow What Makes You Famous social media. Use the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Follow on Facebook at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Instagram at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Twitter at Makes Famous. And follow on YouTube at Keys Dan. Leave What Makes You Famous podcast a review and subscribe. Listen to What Makes You Famous podcast on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and almost anywhere you find podcasts. Tell your story on my podcast, What Makes You Famous. Call 501-470-6386 and leave a message to set up a time. You can support What Makes You Famous using the PayPal link, paypal.me/KeysDan. Email info@radiowhat.com. What Makes You Famous podcast is a production of Keys Dan Enterprises Incorporated at keysdan.com. Thank you for listening. This is Keys Dan.
And this is Shelly G.
And you're listening to
Radio What?
.com. Radio What? The music you want. With some words to live by. Life is too short to waste time hating anyone. A public service message from RadioWhat.com. The music you want.